an island that has been trapped by the sea and the lagoon. People on this island live in fear as giving birth is said to be a serious offense. These islanders apparently are not allowed to even die on the mysterious land of Faanaa. A hotline documentary put together by Francis Forgiva Medeka is up.
Faanaa in Ga literally means the bank of a river. But as to how the name has been associated with the community is yet to be uncovered. The community has been trapped by the Sakumo Lagoon, that is to the north, and to the south is the Gulf of Guinea. The community is accessible by a paddled canoe, which takes between 20 to 30 minutes from Wiaboma to Faanaa.
In this story, I will highlight the pressing challenges encountered by the people of Faanaa and why residents here have lived several decades in this situation where they have limited or no resources to basic social amenities. Agbesi Jojegbe is the chief of the community. According to him, the occupants of the island migrated from the Volta region. Additionally, Ni Aite Mose, one of the custodians of the land, shed more light on the origin of the inhabitants of the island. Faanaa abounds with myths and superstition. On this island, it is a taboo to give birth. Dying here is forbidden.
Mla ke gbejanoto ni maji mo ba ni na ngene ni kwata sen no ni ke ko je ne agbo ye mami afo ye jeme ke yo ti twanse e ya Faanaa okugbo ye mami menu ele wa na wo mo ni Sakumo kusuni sa na ba tu e jeme na aba chigbe ke o chi enyu alo nyu ko mi achi akake jina ka muji e jeme na kanji mlani yo mami
yen wo wa ha yen wusu wa ha na se yale bo serious pa o so mun tru lo mun fa o she boat na mun fa ko hospital ana se o mun de uba ko okru so ko na se nyame ye waduma uti ase a ende e be de nyame ase ba se nyame anya waduna se wan ti ase ge ende no ano no
ofia moja vina ra pojo atsake moja vina ra pojo ha ka fia moja vina rio kana kula ma aja bora po afi fina jevi.
In as much as it's a painful development for government and planners, it is advisable that strategic measures are taken to retreat the people of these shorelines in our coastal areas to preserve life and property.
So I suggested to them that they have to vacate the area and go to different places where those facilities that they demand, they can get it for them.
Away from the deafening noise in the city, Faanaa is very peaceful, providing some serenity for what should have been a good place to live. But the harsh living conditions here cast a bleak shadow over the entire community, making life here an interesting irony.
And this evening, we're going to premiere this documentary. It's our latest Hotline documentary titled Hidden Islands. And you know that we're just in the Ghana Month series. Some of the things you don't know about Ghana that always remain a mystery are what we bring to you. And forgive Amedeka. Well, I know him by Forgive Amedeka. He's also having a first name I didn't know until today. Francis Forgive Amedeka is here. He's the anchor, the broadcaster, and also the producer of the documentary. Good morning to you, Forgive.
Good morning,
And this
Roland.
is premiering this evening.
Yeah.
It looks quite mysterious but exciting as well. And we have sometimes you see some of these videos on YouTube about people who live mysteriously on some of the islands in Latin America and the Amazons, etc. How is this one peculiar?
Okay, actually the concept was pitched by a colleague in Adom, and I spoke to my supervisors and they asked me to go look for the place and then see what I can do about it. So initially we went with, I was actually dressed fully, and then I went there. I never knew I was going to cross rivers and all these things. So when I got there and I was like, wow, people really live here. So we had to go with a paddled canoe, which took about 30 minutes from the neighboring community, which is close to Glefe. Actually, the place is behind Dansuman, and that is what surprised a lot of people. So behind Dansuman, this is what is there. So we went with
So they're in the middle of a lagoon, or?
In the middle of a lagoon, and then the sea. So they've actually been trapped between the sea and the lagoon. So this is an environment where when the Wager Dam is open, I mean, all the flats in Accra, that's where they settle. So you can imagine the kind of, hell these people go through. So when we got to the community, we saw the chief. I spoke to him. Luckily enough, he's an Ever, so it made, interacting with him very easy. And he told us people come here to come and offer assistances, but they don't see any transformation in their lives. So I told them that we'll take this thing up and then we'll see how best we can deal with it.
Do they have amenities at all? Knowing that they are almost isolated, I should say.
I read a research conducted by one Apienin Ado, that was in 2009, and other researchers. But in his research, he stated that they had some Kumasi ventilated indirect, like the KVIP.
On this island?
Yeah,
the research
that was in 2010. But when I went there, I did not chance on anything like that. And then from the narratives that were coming from the people, you realize that they all go to the seashore to,
use themselves.
Exactly. So I think before the place was worth living, but now things have, deteriorated. So it has affected their conditions and then the lives of the kids as well.
The deterioration, based on what you have observed and as you have enumerated, is it linked in any way to the global rising of sea and climate change implications?
Yeah, the research stated that coastal erosion is one of the biggest problems affecting the whole world. And then this island, for instance, it's been estimated that in the year 2052 to 2082, the whole island should be washed away because it's a gradual process. You see, the sea is coming from the other side, and then the lagoons are also eating the other side of the land. So day in, day out, they're just moving into more of the waterlogged area, which is the lagoon, because the sea is stronger than the lagoon. So when they meet, they kind of distract the activities in the community. When I spoke to them about some of the peculiar challenges that the children in the community will face, as in sicknesses and disease, it came out that diarrhea, it was the commonest challenge the children face. And then, the women go through a lot. So you can imagine when you're sick on an island like this, you have to be ferried to the neighboring community. So assuming you have like 30 minutes to survive, being ferried from the main island to the main community, I mean, you may have lost your life because taboos are attached to the island, which make life a little difficult for them. So, you know, they have lots of issues when it comes.
It's
to the island.
surprising that this really is close to Accra and even close to Glife, and then also Dansoman. So even if part of the normal seabed of the main structure of what the coastal areas of Accra is facing, then it means that this community would have some of the worst conditions as far as the lack of amenities, etc. Have authorities been notified about the state of the community?
Oh, well, it will interest you to know that when I spoke to the present MP, Honorable Habib Saad,
he knew about them?
Well, he told me that it was during election when he visited the community, and he realized that no MP has visited the community. And I was like, so how are they able to vote? Because these people keep telling me they cast their votes every 4 years. So how do they cast their votes, and who do they vote for? You know, and then he told me that he went there, he interacted with them, and you know, they bought into his idea, and he offered them a boat. Now, what the MP is doing is he's trying to get benevolent people and then philanthropists from other areas to support him to get a land, you know, which will be close to them, and then to kind of resuscitate their profession, which is fishing. So the MP is trying to do something, but I think he can't do it alone. So he will need assistance from people and then benevolent people who just want to offer assistance.
And this
to the
community. Being premiered today.
Yeah,
what
today.
Time?
8.
8.
Yeah,
8 p.m.
8 p.m.
8:30 p.m. 8:30 p.m. Yeah. All right, so we'll try and stay tuned on the channel. We'll watch as much as possible, and I'm sure there'll be uploads on YouTube as
Certainly.
well.
Certainly.
Definitely. But before we let you go, though, now that we know ultimately, just like other notable landmarks that are close to the sea or island that could be extinct in due course, are we having any mindset about them, or do they have any mindset to resettle?
They thought of staying there, but this is a place you can't even build a borehole, because when you build a borehole, it's going to be salty. So like I said, the MP is trying to relocate them to.
He intends doing that?
Yeah, he intends doing that. They've actually got a land, but he thought they were going to pay a token.
They have a land inland?
They have a land inland that they're supposed to settle, but he wants to.
They want to be compensated before they move?
No, not really. He wants to create like a comfortable place, like a city where you can have roads and all that. They can build shops, you know, to sell and then go back to their fishing activities. So I think people should come in to help these vulnerable islanders.
Yeah, I know.
Stranded.
I know. It's a difficulty for many areas that are also bound by the sea. Poses many challenges to the inhabitants, and this is not peculiarly to areas around Ghana. You go to the Caribbean, etc., and they get to have a lot of. You are even lucky we don't have a lot of the cyclones and the typhoons, etc., and the waves that tend to affect some of those areas. Well, it's 8:30 this evening. Make sure Hidden Island is on your schedule today for you to watch. As always, 8:30 after that, when it's premiered, we're going to have it on YouTube and possibly on radio and the various online portals we have. But through it all, you make sure you get interactive. We've had in the studio the producer of that documentary, Hidden Island, Francis Forgive Amadeka, and thanks for joining me this morning.